Tim Grosser.
Mr. Speaker, I've taken the floor for the first time in this budget debate, so I want to congratulate the Minister, not just because he's a good bloke, which he undoubtedly is, but also for the sheer consistency of his leadership of our economy over successive budgets, and now we can begin to see actual results. And if we stick to the course, the prospect of further steady gains for our people. So we know what the main results are. We've seen a $3,000 increase in the average wage with a prospect of slightly over $7,500 in the next 4 years, if we stick to the course. We've seen 84,000 jobs created in the last year, with a prospect of over 170,000 in the next 4 years, if we stick to the course. We've seen a balance of payment surplus of $1.3 billion as export growth in the figures that came out 2 days ago to the year to April 2014, increasing by 9.1%, and Crown debt projected to get down to 20% if we stick to this course, Mr. Speaker. Now, the words "if stick to the course," I'm thinking also of that phrase that we've debated a lot in the last few months about the rockstar economy. And I just want to reflect on why I think, while human nature being such it is, it was nice to hear it, a lot of us on the Treasury benches not entirely comfortable with it, precisely because of the obvious retort from its critics. It could be a one-hit wonder. Now, if I take a one-hit wonder, how bizarre, you have to ask yourself, would this be bizarre if we get another vote from the New Zealand people in September? That means we do not stick to this course. Now, Mr. Speaker, it wouldn't be bizarre at all, because this is hardwired into the position of our opposition. And I know there's been a tendency to take this way back into ancient debates. I'm now going to go really extreme, Mr. Speaker. I know you'll stop me before I kill again, of course, but I want to go right back to 1973 before I get to the year 2000, because we had again exactly the same pattern. 1973, I was a junior investigating officer in the Treasury, okay? And we'd had a period of long stability, then the election of a Labour government. So I went back to Hansard in 1973 and looked through the appropriation bill to the statement of the then Labour Minister of Finance. He said, "New Zealand's balance of payments position is one of strength unparalleled in our previous experience." Warming to the theme, he then said, "Economic activity and business confidence have recovered strongly." I don't think he added, thanks to years of stable national government rule. And then he introduced a series of policies which are quite intriguing to look at it now. A property speculators tax, further extension of price controls. He repealed the remuneration authority to give more strength to the FOL, Federation of Labour, selective depreciation, export subsidies and interest-free suspensory loans, the usual formula. Then we have the 1974 budget, which I call the "oops, I got that wrong" budget, when the Labour Minister of Finance had to admit, quote, "The sudden massive increase in oil prices has led to a highly unstable international trade and monetary situation." Mr. Speaker, that government lasted one more budget. So we've seen this before, where you get consolidated progress followed by the assumption this is good times are going to roll forever, and then you set in place policies which, sometimes augmented by adverse economic external circumstances that, of course, none of us can foresee, but with the absence of proper conservative fiscal management, can lead to a situation being undone in very short order. Mr. Speaker, you know, and New Zealand knows, this is also describing exactly what happened in 2000, when after a long period of difficult adjustment, we started to average growth in the late 90s in the last 3 years by 4%. The terms of trade were looking very good. Unemployment was starting to come down. Everything was looking rosy, and we know what happened when Labour took over that. Now, I just add the following final thought. What this would be like with the addition of the Green Party is really quite a scary prospect, Mr. Speaker. So I hope that New Zealanders focus not just on the achievements of this budget and the prospect that if we stay the course, we will get steady prospective gains, every reason to believe that, provided we stay the course, and the dangers of departing from that course against the background of well-known history.
Te Urarawa Farrell.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, kia ora tātou, katoa te whare. Mr. Speaker, there's a whakatauki in Māoridom which goes something like this. Kaia ngā